Hello. So you know you're going to be on my phone on speaker.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
We're
have the key.
we don't have the key to the back room. So
Okay.
I'm sitting in your seat with a little black box in front of me. That you had behind us on the board, they've rolled it up. You want me to put it up? No, it's in my hands. They rolled it up. They took it down and rolled it up. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you on speaker. Are you live now?
Yes,
Okay,
we're live.
we're live. So
He's gonna be on the phone because I don't have the key to pull it off. Hi, Dave.
Hi, how you?
Good.
make sure you stay close to your microphone, Dave, please.
Okie doke.
So we'll call the meeting to order at 6:02. Dave is on the phone. The rest of us are present. Jeanette could not make it tonight, but she gave us a nice memorandum of some things for us to remember as we're expending the ARPA funds. Just about contracts in excess of 10,000 and under 10,000. I'm sure Jeanette can make that available to anyone that wants to see it. Okay. Did she have minutes from our last meeting? I don't see anything.
Did you find it, Tom?
Still look, I think it's in the second one. Hold on.
Is this
Yep.
what Dave has?
No,
Yep.
he's looking for me to take a picture of. Don't mind.
So on the ARPA list right now, I think last time we went, remind me if I'm correct, we had asked the board to approve the funding for the transfer station, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was your numbers, Brad, sort of, kind of, that Jeanette has on the sheet?
Yeah, there's more than that now, but
Okay. But those are sort of kind of in the right
What-
ballpark?
What's additional, Brett?
well, the paving number, I got real numbers on. The retaining walls, I got real close on. The canopies are good. Retaining walls, Charles
Can you
said.
hear all right?
What's that?
I was just asking Tom.
Can you hear Dave?
Yep.
So what was the number you got for, like, ballpark for paving and the canopy?
Those were, I believe, like 15 grand a piece.
Oh, hold on. He has updated numbers.
So
Okay.
for the canopies was what?
For the paving
Uh-huh,
of the area, and that includes the paving in front of where the cans are, that
Okay.
they destroyed, where the walls are,
Yeah.
is 25.2.
25 too.
Yeah, and that's a written quote.
All right. And then, well, this, I mean, according to Jeanette's contracts and septic access, so we're gonna have to have
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to send out
competitive bid, so
RFPs.
this is at least a base where we know
Right.
it's gonna be.
Right,
And then for canopies, what did you get for a number?
canopies, I have the same 30,000.
30,000?
And what was the retaining walls?
No, the paving areas.
I had to pave the back area.
The retaining walls, and there's also more that's been added to that besides those retaining walls.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna do a retaining wall down the side of the building on that old rock
Oh,
wall
where
that's failing,
where it's falling
where
apart.
it's falling apart.
Yep.
That'll be an 8-foot retaining wall and then turn the corner behind the well. So everything will be new concrete. And that quote is 31.6 for all that work.
Okay.
So that's close to the original, with actually more added to it,
All right.
so.
That replaced the 67.5, is that what you're saying? Replace the 3 retaining walls?
Yes,
What about the retaining walls for the salt shed?
that's a separate, that's good at the
I'm
seven.
confused.
That's good.
All right, I'm confused.
I'm
So,
confused.
You have 67,000.
Retaining walls, the the big retaining walls, the transfer station retaining walls are where all the cans are, Tom.
I understand that. You have a line item here, replace 3 retaining walls
Yep,
for 67,500.
yep,
You went down to 31,600?
yes,
Okay,
that's a written bid.
okay,
And of course, we have still to do more than that. Okay, and then
okay.
7,000 for
For
the,
the salt shed, 2 retaining walls.
That stayed the same, 7,000 stayed the same?
That's a good number too.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I thought you were talking, it was 40,000 more than the $7,000.
Oh, no.
That's what it sounded like. Is that what you got?
No, that's what I got you, because I had to scribble it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, so, I mean,
So the-
basically with up and down though, it's probably still the grand total left. Is that grand total with the remaining, the 158?
The 158, from what I understand, is after we had taken out the fire department piece,
Uh-huh,
the 162 for the transfer station, left a balance of 158.
right, all right. Okay,
And just so I'm clear, and if you add back in what Brad's not spending, we're at 179,931.
I didn't do the calculation, I can, because the 25, the 15 goes to
Well,
25
you're
too.
gonna have 37.5 extra on top of the 158, 331.
You know, the other thing that's not in here though, the backhoe is not in here. Are we gonna do that at ARPA? Or are we gonna do that as a line item in the budget number?
That was gonna be part of ARPA. if I remember our
So that's not in here at
conversation.
all.
How much was that?
9,500 for the backhoe repair of the strip it, paint it, sandblast it,
Mhm.
and then 2950 for a full maintenance on it, which has never been done. Complete, all new fluids, filters, everything.
2,900?
Yeah,
So you're at 95, 10,5, 11,5, $12,000. So you save 37.5 minus 12,000 is 25,000. So we have 25,000 to add to the 158 that's available. Does that make sense?
167,931 is my math.
I got 152.
okay, so here's another number. That's hasn't been
Okay,
used yet.
I guess I'm gonna stop there.
The replacing the retaining walls for 31.6 is for the concrete work.
mhm,
The site work still has to be done for that, excavated, backfilled.
okay. So would the 67,500 be about correct then, with all that?
No. No, I've got 11.8 for the site work.
So it's 31,600 plus 11,800.
If I read off
Oh,
everything,
sorry.
let me read off everything that I
Here.
have written down. Never mind that
Okay.
for now,
All right,
and then I can give you a grand total number,
Okay.
and then we can take it
that'd
from
be
there.
awesome.
Be a lot simpler.
He's over here ciphering.
I know, I'm calculating, I have
I'm trying to
5%
cross off,
battery
I'm
left.
trying to cross off here.
Okay, okay, what's your,
That's what I
you wanna
was
list
just,
them?
that's what I was just starting to do.
Ready?
Okay, so, yeah, if you want to write them down, you
I
can.
do.
All right. So the retaining walls for the concrete is 31.6 for all the retaining walls, not the salt shed, just the transfer station, okay?
Mhm.
I have added, and this is what's tough, I have added a slab pour at the end of where they usually put all the dead appliances for future use for the metal can to go there, okay? And that is 3,000.
Bradley,
All of,
Brad, not to interrupt you, but on those retaining walls, did you figure a 4-foot footing with a 12-inch wall?
yes, it is, it's a 10-inch wall.
How long are they?
Well, one of the long walls are 5 foot and the tall one is 7'10".
No, how long?
The lineal footage,
Yes.
the 5-footer is 150 feet long.
Is it a straight shot?
And no, it's a turned pour. Remember, there's 3 different turns in that. How they jog
Right.
in,
Are they over 30 feet?
each pour.
Yeah, each length.
They may be 32. I think they're 4 block long.
Okay, you just a little food for thought. You might want to change that to 12-inch, but that shouldn't be that much more.
Okay. At any rate, so the slab's 3,000, all of paving, which is the paving back in front of the cans, and the paving all in the backyard, it's 25,2. The site work for excavation on all the front retaining walls and backfilling is 10,8. All the steel work, which has to be done, replacing the I-beams, the steel plates, the new bolts, 14,000. The lights are 4,500. Lights at the salt shed were 4,000. Cameras were 3,000. New steel railings around all the cans, 3,900. Low camera and locate the septic tank, take the pavement up and have it pumped, because it's never been done.
Holy crazy.
That's something nobody's thought about. Okay, that's $1,000. $375 to patch that pavement. The roof coverings over the 3 cans and the 2 recycling areas, 30,000.
Are you good? Sorry to interrupt. Are you gonna put in some sort of manhole cover so you don't have to
Yes,
rip up the pavement every
Yes.
time?
Yep.
Yeah, part of that.
and that's part of that. And then the backhoe work for the paint and the sandblasting, 9,500,
Mhm.
and then the full maintenance on it, 2,250.
And grand total off.
I don't know, I haven't done it, but you're supposed to be
Oh
doing
my gosh, I'll run them all down. I'll see what I can get, what battery I have left.
Would have been nice if you would have had this all typed up, summarized in triplicate and what, you know.
it. It is in my black book with a red ribbon. I know right where it is.
Let me make sure.
60-ish.
So I have 131, 225, if I did that right. But I feel like I'm missing a number from over here.
Yeah, did you
I don't think I
add
got
the,
the canopy.
did you forget the improve the lighting,
Nope.
30,000?
Yeah, I don't have that
The lighting's
30,000.
on 30,000.
That's what it says here on the first list. Ignore that.
Yeah, forget about this list.
Okay, so I have 131, 225 if I added it all right.
I didn't hear you say
Yeah.
compactor repair. There's the first one's compactor
Oh, yeah.
repairs, 10,000.
I didn't get that.
That is
Was that
part
included?
of the steel work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the bolts, all new bolts.
Okay.
All new steel railings, all new steel
So
I-beams.
we had an estimate from Marcel for the lighting and the network connectivity up there for $30,000.
Yeah, well, you don't need that kind of lighting, as we've seen.
So how much are we gonna put in?
We had it here.
I mean, I hear the complaints already that if we don't need lighting at the transfer station, why'd you change the hours at the transfer station to be during daytime?
They put, was 3,000 in the quote for the lighting?
I had,
There's 2 figures.
I had 3,000 for the lighting
Uh-huh.
and 4,500 for cameras.
So did we get a quote on that from somebody for the lighting?
No, I'm just figuring 4 lights. That's all we really need to make that place. Getting people to give me quotes on all this stuff is like
Well, I'm sure it is.
issue right now, so. but it's no way it's $30,000.
Well, it all depends. If it's what was in the plans to do versus what you think it should have, we ought to see what the difference is. What is the difference?
Well, we need to get somebody else up there, a couple more different contractors to go up.
Yeah, and I'm learning with Marcel now that he doesn't like to bid I mean, he'll give us a ballpark, but he doesn't want to do any of the work of conflict of interest, and I get it. I get it. So Ed Profeno, if we can get Ed, is as good as the one that I know. I don't know a lot of electricians.
Yep.
Um,
So a lot of that, not a lot, but part of it was for aerial network cabling so that we wouldn't have to cut the pay underground.
Right.
So that was from the
Metal building.
swap shop to there, over to the metal building, over to the office, over to the salt shed. So there was some of that was
Well,
involved.
I had done away with the cameras at the salt shed. Now that the doors are locked and they work, we don't have to worry about that. I had those fixed. So I see no reason to spend money on that salt shed. That's just my opinion. I'm just one person.
Right, well, I think in the end, I think our goal as the committee that we are is to make our recommendations to where the money should fall and give it to the select board, and they choose from there to give them 3 or 4 recommendations, because from our last, and I think I did the report to the select board, and they already agreed whatever way transfer station needed to be done to use the money there for ARPA. And then other ideas we had written down was for town manager, possible room for them, Kennebunk Pond Committee, and then you had the budget pond traveling, and I guess there was one of them that wasn't listed or something like that.
I had a quote from Les Layton for the stumping, the boulders and sand, 1,200 yards of sand for the new parking lot, for $25,000.
And does that do all of the money in that parking?
Nope, that doesn't include any gravel. That is just stumping, boulders.
Take a look at the list that I got there if you guys are starting to talk about bugging up. Stop filling in the blanks.
Okay.
Okay. You want me
Yeah,
to?
yes, please, Tom.
Okay,
Do we have that list here?
Tom, first of all, can you add 3 things to that list, please?
sure, Mr. Alves.
One was tree cleanup,
Yep.
3 new tables,
Oh, yeah, they got this.
100 feet of walking bridge.
Yeah, that bridge.
Could you look at the line item for the electrical? And let's see, the electrical, power to the water pump, 9,500. I added the excavation to it with the wire, PVC, and hookup. Can you bring that allowance to 16,500 instead of 95?
Tom has the list over there.
I'll make photocopies. As soon as he's finished, I'll run over.
And then one more thing is, do you see pump, the constant pressure pump, 9,500?
Oh, okay, yeah.
To bring that to about 10,950.
10,950. And the other one was the power to water pump, which was 9,500. That went to 16,500.
Yeah, that's with excavation, PVC hookup.
Okay. Sorry, folks, I wrote it and it was 2 at 95. All right, anything else?
Nope, you added those 3 items.
Yeah, it was already written on here, replace approximately 100 feet of walking bridge, so I can take that off as a.
Yeah, I think that's gonna end up being, that's gonna be an $8,500 job for the Boy Scouts all day long.
Okay, let me go make, there's a lot of info in here.
Okay. Oh, there, oh, Tom, excuse me. So, because if I did calculations off for you, right, the grand total last would be 1,000, well, 1,000, good gracious. 188,721.82. And that's if I added, right, which don't trust me, it's late at night. If you want to send me a picture, I'll type that up for Jeanette.
and for them to be able to submit to the, well, I'll type it up for us.
Well, I mean, we need to, obviously, there's no need of going crazy if we have to get 3 proposals
Right.
from
Well,
everything.
I don't
Every
think-
single item in here is
But we're
over
not, I
5
think
grand.
that the proposals are the select board are gonna get, not us. Because this is, we're just making recommendations. We don't go any further than that.
They're gonna write all the RFPs.
They'll do,
Yeah,
they'll do the
They'll do it
RFPs
all.
and
We're only
the price.
making recommendations, which is why ours, we're figuring out if we actually have, we're showing them what monies could be used for, and that whether it's gonna be over or under, so they can choose how they're gonna go forward.
Just, and you said it's down to like 131.
No, 188, 721, because the back and forth with some of the numbers here and Brad's list, if I added it right. His total was 131, 225 for the transfer station so far, off the numbers he just ran down. I ignored the ones over here.
Yeah.
So again, this is just a good, I'm sure.
Sorry.
Thank
No
you.
Chief.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, everybody has a copy now, Dave.
Okey-doke.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Thomas. So there are a couple of, questions there. Is the chief there?
Yes.
I threw in there like a water supply along the beach where those, there are, I was looking for the pictures. There were charcoal burners there that people cook on.
Yep.
But there's no water. I understand that all they got to do is reach and grab a bucket, but I didn't know how you felt about that. I mean, if there's going to be a pump down there, if there's eventually going to be water, I didn't know if you'd like to see a spigot at each one of those stations. It's not. I don't think it's a lot of money, but it's money.
I don't know, I guess my brain goes in 2 different directions. One is not sure if it's a use for the fire department and fire suppression. And then does it turn into more of a vandalism thing where somebody leaves it running and,
That's exactly what will happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't see much benefit from the fire department side. I see more of a,
Liability for the town.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice idea. Nice thought.
It was just up for discussion.
Okay.
But I have had conversations with Bill about some sort of water supply coming off that pump where we could have access to it, where a fire truck could get close enough to it to get as many gallons per minute into a fire truck as possible, where Bungat's obviously a great source of water for the town for fire suppression, but there's limited access for a big heavy fire truck to get down to it.
But there's only so if you stopped at the top and cut in a T, but that's only a 2-inch pipe. I mean, how long is it going to take you to fill a tank that you have?
Right, they're gonna
It's
be,
gonna give you 50 to 70 gallons a minute.
yeah, that'll take 20 minutes, which is probably a little too long to, if you're at 50 gallons a minute to get 1,000 gallons, you're 20 minutes. And it's probably, I mean, at the end of the day, if that's the only thing, then it's better than nothing. But we would probably be running to Route 202 or in Alfred where they have a pressurized hydrant somewhere close in that area to grab water.
Well, why that little stream area that's there that runs down into how close to that can you get off the road? Can we put a hydrant there?
Brad, you've looked at that,
I
right?
have. It's a long draw. It's too far of a draw.
Is it?
That's gonna be our issue. Even
Like
though,
height wise, more than 20 feet.
well, height wise, it won't be more than 20. We could
Okay.
get that down to 10, but how much lateral draw can you pull? Infinitely?
Pretty virtually infinite.
I think that we could get it under 20 feet then between down in the lake and then a sand pipe up with a 6-inch on
'Cause
top.
At the end of the day, what we'd be looking for is to dig that so the water's right at the bottom of the pipe.
Correct.
So it's really just the width, not the draw.
Yeah, it's gonna be it'll be a deep dig, but yeah, it can be done.
But the pond, the irrigation pond for the ball field is above that grade. So what if the gravity feed downhill, I mean, there's 500,000 gallons of water in that pond most of the time.
And what's the height? How high?
I would say you're probably 10 feet over the road.
I bet that's
The-
close.
Gonna push.
It would be gravity if you go from the irrigation pond. It literally, that head would always have water in it.
Well, the deal is
That might be.
you could turn the irrigation pump on, keep filling the pond, and you could be sucking out of the pond.
Right.
Because I would keep that as two separate pieces there. You're only 100 feet away from the pond.
Right, and we could make the road wide enough, Matt, right there to be able to have the pump off of the road and the drawing pump in a lane and still have a full lane open.
Yeah.
Where I have the no parking signs, it's all flat right there.
Yep,
Take those
yep.
trees down,
Yep.
easy.
Because that's a
I
good
think that
way.
would be.
That would be a better deal. Just keep pumping to fill the pond and you can take what you need.
Because otherwise it's a long draw from the lake, boy.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
It is, right.
So,
But see,
Dave-
that pump's pushing.
Right.
Dave, do you have numbers for anything else? Because I just did a quick calculation off the numbers you did write on here. And
Yep.
I put 8,500 for the bridge just from you saying that, but for the Bunganut Beach was 47,400. And that's just with the numbers you did give. There are numbers missing, like the water supply along the beach for fire suppression, cameras was missing, network devices in ARPA, so that was missing. And then for the ball field, I have a total of 49,400, and that's without numbers for grade the lot, the drinking water for concession, concrete pads for the picnic tables, tree cleanup, and the 3 new tables. So total 96,800 to take care of Bunganut, ballparkish so far. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be about 105, but yep.
Yeah, like I said, there's no numbers listed, so about 105 you're thinking?
That's kind of what I was thinking, and we don't have to go with everything I have on my list.
Les had
I think it's great.
Given a price about $10,000 for gravel for that parking lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
On top of the 25.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So that's there.
That didn't include grading the lot though.
Well, he's gonna grade, well, there's 2 lots to grade.
Right.
Right, that's where
That's
See,
where
the new ball field lot,
You got the beach
Right.
side and then you've got the ball field side. So the
Right.
beach side, the lot needs to be graded and clean the rocks out and re-gravel.
yes, right.
I have a big photo there. If you're not familiar with it, just tape it up to the thing so everybody can see it.
Games and the beach.
Water pump. This is, you have 2 here.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Oh, they're both the same?
So did there was originally $5,000 appropriated for gravel. The beach side of the property. Was that capital plan or was that budget?
I think that was coming out of capital.
It says
Sure.
capital right
It
here.
is.
So it should be there still for that.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to include it at this point, unless we have the funds to do it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we had the funds to do it out of the ARPA,
I thought that it was 10 grand.
yeah.
No, but $5,000 for the beach side, $10,000 for the other
For the
side.
ball field side.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, I guess that's electrical.
yes, I don't see that.
red line?
The drinking water, we had budgeted money, it's probably in capital, 5,000. To bring the water across from the water.
Through the culvert, right?
Through the
That
culvert.
rock wall sits there
I
now.
almost think we're better off to hire a well driller, put a well in, we'll leave it at that. Then we can have it, make sure it's.
You're gonna have to put in a well if you're doing drinking water.
You would not or would?
You're gonna have to
Well,
put in a well. If you're not gonna suck it out of the.
well, if we're gonna provide water for the concession stands, it probably
Correct.
should be drinking water.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we hadn't really done anything like that. It was there.
No, right.
for that.
Right.
Was
No,
there
I
for
think
that.
a well's a better idea.
I agree.
Especially
No
for
above
expansion down
ground.
the road too.
There's no above ground.
You're gonna put in there about 18 to 20 grand for a drilling and a pump. I don't know what depth they have there, but
That's about right.
I just paid 17,000 right here in South Street.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
well,
you could
not
get
for
lucky
the
and
roof,
it's only
though.
10,
But depends how deep the water is over there. You don't know what you
Right.
get till you start drilling, and then what kind of water, you could wind up with what's normal in Lyman and get the
Right.
busted.
You're probably gonna need a filtration system, which is a few thousand, so I bet you're into the 18 grand, 20 grand all day long.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree. But I think the well is a great idea, just especially for future things over there for the town, you know?
Well, the other part too is if that was put in the capital plan, that there should be $5,000 there you can use.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right.
almost think it was.
Jeanette would be the answer to that.
So, and then Dave, the other one we had mentioned was Kennybunk Pond, and I think that list was in here as well, what the total would be for Kennybunk Pond to finish them off, which was the 16,350. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, you asking me?
Yeah, and I know Kennybunk Ponds, I think, I don't know if they've changed or not, but like what I'm looking at right now for budget priorities for May 2022, I have the 16,350. Has that changed or are the numbers different?
I think it's gonna grow. We have a meeting with, and they're finalizing the design that the committee agreed upon. But I think when it's all said and done, I bet you're into the, if you would do soup to nuts, you're into the 35 grand range.
All right, because I mean,
But I have a question for the chief. I don't know, and maybe Brad, I don't know the lay of the land back there, but is that a good spot for a substation?
For Kennybunk Pond,
Yeah, the land in back that's not affected, that
Too close to the main station.
or even, some sort of just public safety in general. I don't know what's back there. I never walked it.
well, I will say, it's the absolute center of town.
Is it?
So for any public safety, that is a good area, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, when you look at the Goodwin's Mills Fire Department covering Dayton and Lyman, we're in a good position to be able to respond to both towns.
Yeah.
We're not in a great position just to respond to the town of Lyman.
And I think that location should make both the lists, that maybe to do something public safety on that along with the plan that I'm putting together in regards to all the town-owned land.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the land beyond the parking lot on personally.
Like which way? I mean, looking at it to the left, you have a stream that comes downhill.
There's 3.5 acres there.
Yeah.
It's
And to the right, it's dry, but to the left, you have a stream that comes, it goes uphill, but there's a stream that comes down to the
yeah,
left-hand
it's always
side.
wet in that area out back there. You and I have walked.
That's
a few
pretty much
times.
the boundary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because Amber and Mark, that's their
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
It hits it.
The stream really is pretty much a boundary line. But
But it's a good piece of property.
Yeah, and to the right, it's pretty flat. I mean, I don't think it's too much.
Well,
to the right.
With the fire station there, that pretty much solves the security issue for beaches.
No, I was thinking the same
It's
thing.
true. I think that the daytime drinking on the beach might be curbed.
The problem with discussing anything fire department is we always have to be mindful of the town of Dayton. But I'd be happy to get the funding for another building, another fire truck, and 2 more personnel 24 hours a day to staff that
You look very
station. for
happy.
Yeah.
would that
Well,
eliminate the need to maybe go all the way out to the end of North Berwick Road, the whole Kennybunk Road?
Well,
Considering that's the center, but
long as
that's
they
a
put-
long haul out
As long
there.
as they put traffic lights at
Kennybunk Pond Road and
35 and
Dayton Road.
Kennybunk Pond Road.
They are going in.
Huh?
They are going in.
They are gonna go in?
Oh, I have all the
24?
documentation.
Really?
2 weeks ago there. They're gonna be done in 2025, 2 left turn lanes and traffic lights. It's gonna
Wow.
happen. It's already in the design set phase right now. It's already gone to engineering. I already have a work order number on it.
That'll get us off the hook for being responsible for those LED signs out
Yeah,
there.
those will come down. Won't need.
You can use those someplace else.
Well, we had, the Board of Selectmen, previous board, signed off with the state that we would take full responsibility of maintaining
For life.
for life.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Holy Toledo.
They supply them, we have to maintain them.
It was
Anyway,
the previous
to-
board, nobody on it that's
To
around
get, to
now.
get back to the question, Matt, wouldn't you rather see something way out on the end of Kennybunk Road on the far end of town?
Yeah, as we talk about where the current fire department is located to cover both towns, our longest response times are
Okay.
definitely the Old North Berwick Road, the Walker Road,
Middle road, way out.
Middle Road, Candlewood, that type
Yeah.
of stuff's definitely our longest response times. I don't know that a station on the Kennebunk Pond Road would decrease those response times.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
I mean, it would decrease the response times to the upper end of the South Waterboro Road, the upper end of the Clark's Woods Road for sure. Maybe even out towards, 111 and Howard Road, our response times would be quicker from that location. But I don't know,
I don't think it would help the far end of town,
it would not help that far in the town.
right?
So scribbling numbers, if I take Dave's 35,000 for Kennybunk, and the potential 105,000 for Bunganut, and then the transfer station at, that I'm just around, 131. The total is 271, 225. And so the total was 319, is that what we have left over, 319, 946, was that it?
No, 319 was what has been expended on the
Okay.
fire department
So I have to figure
and
this
set
out.
aside for the transfer station.
So what I have to figure out now is, because she used these numbers up here, so if I do, oh my God, my head today. My battery's gonna die.
Michelle, just to clarify, they have about 16 in there, 10 with the state. I'm saying 35 on top of that for soup to nuts.
Oh, on top of the 16?
Yeah, not just 15, $14,000, something like that. No,
Okay, so,
but I'm talking gate. They're postponing the gate. I'm talking all that stuff.
right, and I think one of the goals was to have them just, so it's not having to be funded every year in taxpayer money, to just have them
Right.
done.
Then I'd put 35 on top
It's
of
already
the
funded for this
16,
year.
Right,
and they're getting 10 from the state.
See, that was
5 on
good.
each side, Brad.
What's that?
Is it 5,000 for each side of the road?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's assuming that grant money's still good. Who knows?
I'll ask him tomorrow morning.
The lights are supposed to be.
Somebody's gotta get on that.
Bill's gonna do it tomorrow morning.
I'm going
Beautiful.
to see DOT tomorrow morning.
okay,
Fire
so
road.
I think I have, is that right for the fire department, 132, 600? I'm rounding numbers.
That,
Ballpark-ish, was that what, I just rounded, I didn't do the exact figures. If you have the exact, that'd
no,
be cool. Not-
I'll have pretty close,
Okay,
but
Does this,
once he has that number, then I can add this number and these.
well, once, remember
I
the
have here.
additional, did you get an additional 40, Matt?
It's in here, I think.
But it's not in this,
Oh, it's not in this?
right? I don't see it anywhere here.
well,
No, there's an encumbered is 23,900.
Yeah, but that's changed,
That's right.
right? Remember? You got additional, Matt, right? Remember?
Okay, so he's looking
That may
at-
be our half.
Yeah.
It may have been 40 total, 46.
Yeah, yeah,
That
those are not-
may be our,
right, roughly 155, 470, is that about where you're at?
Yeah, that was the one number that's missing out of here. Yep, so that is correct, the half of them. Yep. So if we do, again, all just ballpark plus transfer station
what did they,
is, so just the fire department plus the
What are the
transfer
strikers?
station is 286, 695.
Mechanical CPR
And then if we
devices,
add in all of
the
Bunganut,
power lift
that gives
infrastructure.
us to 391, 695.
Which we don't have.
Well, we
Yeah,
do
so
for,
that was the
from
first
this
one,
number
right?
too.
The
Yeah, we
airbag
do.
stuff was the first.
Right?
That's what we have. Oh, I see what you're
No,
saying.
see
This
what I'm
is,
saying, so let's, but that, then if we add in the 35,000,
43.
Yeah.
That's our half.
Right, that's how I know about.
I know, I do, well, that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
And that's
happening.
where, this is
So
everything I've
131,
done ARPA.
225.
This is what I keep.
Gotcha.
And so that's everything that the fire department would be
105
done
plus.
half each town share.
Okay, so we can take this number right here. Let's make it
This is
easy.
the 426,695.
150.
What is it? I'm sorry.
426,695, which is
Which is
Which
still
is-
50,000.
which is still
under.
50 grand left to,
So, and I think it
Right?
would be wise to leave a buffer.
I think so, especially when we
Yeah,
don't
I
have
mean,
quotes and we don't know what's gonna
Oh, yeah.
happen with prices.
Things could change by springtime.
So-
one side.
Do you, I mean, I guess at this point, is there anything else we can think that we want to? I mean, I like the stuff on the bung and I.
We've
So let
done,
me
we've
ask
done
you
three
this.
items, right? Three
Where-
major items.
where does-
basically.
where does
So we're
that
within
leave
$3,000 of what Jim
The
said.
money that the selectmen took out of the budget and put in an ARPA request fund for, there was like $72,000 total.
What was that? I think that was from the transfer station, wasn't
Now,
it?
part of it was a transfer station,
Right,
ball fields, had to do with Spectrum internet connecting so that things would be tied together.
Kennebunk Pond.
Kennebunk Pond, for that.
I didn't see any of that.
Oh, yeah, Jeanette had those copies with everything. Because there was 72, as of this list, there was 72,000 in the budget ARPA funding, which left about 75,000 overall, which would kind of chewed up all but 50,000 of tonight. So it's a matter of finding where it went.
Well, yeah,
So,
I think letting the board know that this is our recommendation, we'll let them take it from there.
yeah, but I mean, I think that would be part of, say if that fits into it
So if you
versus
can,
something else, use it for those things so that we don't have to hit the taxpayer to fund it.
so yeah, exactly. So if we want to do, I mean, I don't mind doing it, Matt. It'd be easier for you probably to give me exactly what you guys got at some point, like the exact number, like out of, like to the pennies or whatever. And Brad, having yours, like both, like with the whole list, and then present it to the select board with the two ballpark come up without getting our opinions and quotes.
Yeah, just,
This is ballpark what we're
I
seeing in
think
each.
it's our responsibility to get
No, it's not. No, what I'm saying, this is what we ballpark have come to for thoughts, for numbers, and let them take it from there.
it's all
Yeah.
subject to change,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because a lot was discussed here tonight, a lot of line items.
Yeah.
So so you have Bunganut.
Yeah.
You have transfer
station.
station and you have Kennebunk Pond.
Yep.
So, because I didn't bring all my paperwork. with
No,
me,
but
I know-
that's basically three items that chew up this budget.
If,
Uh-huh.
Michelle, if you talk with Jeanette.
Yep.
She will give you the
Push it
whole.
all together.
Well, she's
Yeah.
already got it done.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I also would like to see with Kennebunk Pond, the money that has been allocated for them through taxpayer money that we've allocated to them.
Well, I'd
That's
like to
already there.
get
So the budget
some
that's already
capital
there,
plan for those
Have that,
things.
all of it, the full picture of what we're spending
Jeanette can give
on each
Yeah.
project.
We, Bill's right though, Tom. There is some money in capital for some of that. So that should be done out of the capital and free up,
Correct.
whatever it frees up, it frees
Whatever
up.
frees
Well,
up, frees up.
Everything we do with ARPA means we don't have to do anything with taxes.
Period.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
and to
Ever,
me,
yeah, right.
well, I can't say ever.
No, but
because
it's a
gonna
done
be-
deal.
Well, yeah,
But
and if it
there's-
frees it up, to go do a few more things, that's great.
Yeah.
So we're not down to, so if, let's just say ballpark, if you have ballpark 50,000 left over and we can get another 25, you get 75,000. Whoa, geez, now what can we do?
Well, I mean, even just from the surveys we had, they, you have people who requested playground equipment,
Yep.
improvement for handicap parking and accessibility at Bunganut. That was another one too. And, just like things like that, so the board will, at least from the surveys we had, has some idea also if there is extra, what to do with that.
So when you do your budget for signs this year, double it.
Oh my gosh. Say
I
people
almost,
take it.
it's close, I want one,
So
Because there's a lot of signs, we need a lot.
you know.
does everyone kind of feel comfortable with those three
Can,
areas?
can we put that all together for one last quick meeting to go over it and say we're all set?
That's up to you guys, if you feel like you need another meeting to
Yes.
go over it, or just have.
Because I'd like to have the Cape Port Beach Committee meet for their final time and get their budget, because I'd hate either shortchange them or,
Yeah.
you know, I think they're gonna be covered, but, you know, I'm really not sure of the design that they're finalizing.
What can you get for 25?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, do you have any idea?
Well,
how long
That's the 35, that's the 16.5, and plus the money that they've spent already, so.
Yeah, do you have any idea how long it'll take them to get their final numbers?
That's what they're working on.
That's what they're working on now? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's January,
I know it's.
I just wanted to secure something so that, you know, they weren't, they didn't miss out on it.
so do you all think we're safe meeting the last week of January? To be able to kind of have Jeanette get things together and have Kennybunk have their final numbers?
What do you think, Dave?
Say again.
Last week of January, you think they would have their figures ready?
It'll be close. I know once they do the design, you know, it's going to be basically an engineer's bulk pricing. You know, Brad knows what I mean. Yeah. You know,
Well,
and they'll go with that.
Why don't you see what you can do to fire them up and get them going?
Yep. I'll do it.
Because, you know, a lot of these projects are gonna be spring projects and
Yeah.
They have to
we
keep
want
on
to
the
get
line
started
now.
going now,
Mm.
you know?
And lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think,
Oh my
I think
gosh.
giving is, you know, the best information we can to the select board to choose how they're gonna go forward with it is great. So I mean, if everyone's comfortable, do you wanna plan a meeting in the January, Kennybunk Pond's ready, and maybe first week of February if we have to? That gives everyone time to maybe have reports to hand out, typed up, more
There's-
numbers we can collect.
There's 5 Mondays in January, so
Oh.
I'm guessing we'd be safe on the 30th.
That would work
Yeah.
for me, that would be fantastic if we could do that.
Because when we start getting into February, I'm not gonna be around.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You're not.
booked in February.
Just as long as God gives us some snow.
Do you want to tentatively put it on the calendar for now, gentlemen?
Yes.
You want to tentatively do the 30th?
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe Dave, you could get them to.
6 o'clock,
Yes,
6
please,
o'clock,
I think 6
yeah.
works for me.
that 6 works for me, I love that,
Okay.
I really do.
Maybe you could let the committee know, Dave, we're looking to hopefully, you know, numbers before the 30th.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can have a nice, little- I'll talk to Jeanette about kind of putting everything in a pretty package.
Yeah.
With what
But
Dave,
can I tell them that right now we have a line item of $35,000 plus what they have?
I'm comfortable.
They
Does anyone
hands
wanna
what
make that
they-
motion?
I'm fine with that, I don't have a problem.
Is that a motion?
Just tell them.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay, yes, Dave.
Okay, thanks.
Did you lose him?
No, I still got them.
Oh. All right.
Yep.
Is there anything else we want to discuss or talk about or look up or?
Hey, Dave,
Yes.
can you please reach out to them and have them adjust the lights so they're not on during the day?
Yes.
Yeah,
Power
I did
outages.
mention that. I think what's going on is obviously
How
that
about it?
you guys have been losing power over there. You gotta pay your bill, man.
Is that on a timer or
It
is
is.
that?
Yes.
Why isn't it on a light sensor?
So
That's what I
that's
said.
what's going on. If possible, is there any way, I don't know, maybe Tom, you can talk to Marcel on Wednesday? Maybe we can get Karen, Kane, and Marcel together, just in case if she's confused on, or and I take that back, not confused, but if she needs to be walked through that particular timer.
It's literally, I have the same timer I think you guys have in my chicken coop, and even if we lose power for 5 minutes and I have power to my chicken coop, I literally am off by hours. It just messes with that timer.
Photo cells.
Is there
Put it
any
on a
way
photo
they could
cell.
do a dust,
Yeah,
get a dust to dawn
The
sensor on
reason
it?
why they went with timers, because that way it didn't have to stay on all night long.
How about a dust to dawn?
Yeah, but you can buy them now that'll do, it'll
A
come
block of
on
time.
at dusk and it'll stay on
Yes,
for 6
yes, you
hours
can.
and shut off.
Yeah,
Then it's bulletproof.
That's $30 instead of 25.
Yeah,
right.
bulletproof though.
Yeah.
Nobody has to mess with it.
Yeah. I think that's the better that, because it is always like, you're like, oh, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, the lights on.
All right, I'll talk to myself.
Thank you.
Good guy.
Thanks, Dave.
Awesome. All right, so, anyone, Anything else, or do we want a motion to adjourn?
We want to just buff up what we have done, clean it up, and then,
Yeah, like if this is on typed up for everyone to be able to see ballparkish
oh, you
numbers.
can't read that? So I'm a doctor,
Give it to Jeanette.
I write prescriptions.
I knew you were a doctor like that. Give it to Jeanette, and then, that way everyone's list is on one sheet together that we're
Right.
proposing.
Right, then we can read everything
And
and
then
see it.
also numbers need to be tweaked, like someone comes up with a new ballpark, or oh, we forgot this service that needs to be done. It can be added in before that,
Right,
or quickly added in at that.
That
meeting,
makes sense,
so we can
Dave?
get it on.
Seems, yeah.
All right,
Good.
motion,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all those in favor?
All right.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Repeat. Done.
Matt, are you familiar with the area